This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded. You say, can I display other options?
I can, yeah, thank you.
All right, let's clear the screen. All right, first things first. We want to discard all the messages normally sent to the terminal. So let's do some research too. Let me pull this over to my side, my other terminal. And then I'm gonna pull some stuff up so that way we can see like where do these redirects come from. And let's get some understanding. Let's see. Okay, so here's an overall view. Standard input is 0, standard out is 1, and standard 2. Standard error, standard ERR is 2, right? So if I'm inputting, well, outputting, and then standard error. So what's the first thing? Let's look at this. It says which answer discards all messages normally sent to the terminal. So we know normally sent to the terminal, standard output is 1. So so we need to look for by default, right? So we don't see a 1 on there. And 2 gives us standard error. All right. So based upon that, what do you think the answer would be? And let me pull that over to the screen.
B. B.
Okay. So you have to work on process of elimination, right? Who said B?
Me.
Stephanie.
Miss Baker.
All right, so let's go do our up arrow. Yeah, okay, that's right. And let me minimize this. So it says which answers discard all messages normally sent to the screen. Let's try them. All right, up arrow. And we're going to say file to redirect. Oops, redirect. File 2. Well, we just saw that the 2 gives a standard error. So we can eliminate this, but let's give it a shot anyway. Let's do it ls minus ltrh. So at 9:22, it created a file and a file 2. You see that date, that timestamp there? See that? It created both of those. So let's cat file, file, and then let's cat file 2. So this took and created 2 files. File and file 2 captured the errors in file 2 and output in file, right? It says which one discards all messages normally sent to the terminal. So We didn't get messages sent to the terminal. That was right. But it broke it up into two files. Yeah, the potato, these are things where you gotta get the information right. So let's go back up though. And let's do the ampersand. And that's probably on that page. And send everything to dev/dev null. Like it took care whatever the error, whatever the output, it just sent everything. And I think the phrase here that's important is discard all messages normally sent to the terminal. This right here captured it captured the messages that to a file to two files. Didn't come to a term, but it captured to the two files. So here, what do you think? What do you think this one's gonna do right here? What do you think C is gonna do?
It's gonna send
Send the errors to the file.
Oh, hold on. Let me do something. Let me remove file. All right. And then let's cat file. So it sent errors to the file.
yeah,
See
probably.
that?
Overwrite.
All right. And let's remove file again. And then let's just do and file. So it sent everything. So I think your keyword for this one right here is going to be discards. Because it didn't tell you to capture it in the file. It told you discard it. So this is why this is B. Does that make sense to everybody? I think your keyword is going to be discard. Cool. Make sense?
So the answer is B.
The answer is B.
Okay.
But you gotta look at keywords here, right? Which answer discards all messages normally sent to the terminal, right? We captured them. It didn't say capture the messages. It didn't say discard and capture. It just said discards them. And that was this one. But we started off with a process of elimination first as well too. This one said I'm gonna discard the messages, but hey, catch the errors. This one caught everything. This one caught everything and discarded it to dev null. This created two files, one for the errors and then one for the one for the errors and one for the output. And then if we go back over here and look at our standard out and then our standard error. So we know from the jump that this right here was gonna catch the errors. We know this was gonna catch the errors. So we had just B and C left. And when we went and did B and D left. And when we went and did D caught everything. And and B, the letter B, Bravo, discarded everything. All right. All right. Let's go for round 2. All right. This will be this one. It says which answer sends output to both the screen and a file at the same time. Both the screen and a file at the same time. All right, so let's get this down there. Let's pull this over so you can start playing with commands. And I'm bringing the question over now. No, stop doing it. Right, you get it. Well, what's the first thing we can eliminate? We can eliminate A, right? Because we know A is going to give us everything going to dev null. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate A, right? And then what does B give us? Because we just went through B, right? Then we just
Yeah.
do that.
He's out.
So,
Yep, we just did that. So we know A and B is out. So the only two that's left that we should be trying is C and D.
D.
Says which is going to send the output to both the screen and a file at the same time.
They can see.
And why do you think C?
Because D, lots of elimination. Well, I see the word file. I'm still learning. I don't have it committed to memory. So I'm just trying to use a little common sense. That's all.
So think about here's the other thing you have to look at too. When
Can't see.
you can't see it, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's think about it. We've seen the T command before.
Yeah.
Right? So let's play with the T command. All right, so let's go here and let's pipe it over to T and then file. So we got the output. Let's do a ls minus ltrh. Let's do a date. 1931. So that's current. All right. So we got output to the screen.
Oh.
And we got just the results to the file. Did you see that?
Yep.
Just the actual, not the errors. We didn't get the errors that went to the file. That's something to be noted, right? Because the other one, when on the last one, we got the errors. We got the errors and the output. Here we just got the output that we were looking for without the errors. All right, so let's try another one. Let's try that last one. Let me remove file. And then let's do permission denied. All right, so what's happening here? So basically what this saying is whatever's in this file really is trying to re-put that information into that command. That's really what's happening with that. That's what that is. So let me see. Can I do it? Let me see. Um, let me see. Uh, let me see if I can get an example of that. Yeah, that's not what I want. I want to be able to. What this says is take whatever's in this file and act as input into the command. That's what that is. So this one says the answer send output to both the screen and a file at the same time. The answer is C, not D. Take the sends out sends output to both the screen and a file at the same time. It didn't say errors, it just said output. And the last one didn't work. So let's see. I'll tell you what the answer is. Let's see. Yep, the answer is C.
C. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right,
C.
last one. We'll get this over. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Did that make sense to everybody? How we got to C?
Mhm. Yep, kind of sort of.
Yep.
Okay. But it's a fun study though. It's a fun study. All right. All right. Which answer saves the output to a file and discards the error message?
Decided file.
Which saves the output. So remember when we're talking about output, we're not talking about errors. We're talking about output that we want to see without the errors. So the output that we want to see without the errors, and then discards the error message. So remember we said discards, most definitely want to go to dev null. And then it says the output um to a file. So what are we going to automatically eliminate? Are we going to eliminate A? Because we know A is going to capture everything, right? All right. And then B, it could be B because we're getting the errors discarded right here, right? And T file, but what we know about T file? T file is going to give us T file should give us the output and then the errors to slash dev null. All right. This this C is gonna give us um it's gonna give us it should give us everything. Well, mm, mm,
Mm.
or remember C probably gonna give us, is it gonna give us a file name one
It's output.
and then output to dev null? I mean then discard their messages in the same way with two. I mean D. Let's try. I think the answer is C. Okay, do my up arrow here. We're gonna do ampersand file. All right, so that didn't make sense. We knew that one gonna work, right? Here We pipe it over to T. Oh, hold on. Let me do some removing a file. All right. Now let's pipe this over to T. File to dev no. Okay, so we got say which answer saves output to a file and then discards the error message. So let's see, it put everything to the screen, so it didn't discard the error message. All right, so now let's look at file. So we got the output, but it didn't discard the error messages. All right. So now when we go look at C, let's see.
C. C.
We're going to let's do this. File 1 / dev no. Then it didn't like that. File 1. Hold on, let's see if it's reading past the white space. Okay, yeah, there was a white space problem there. But it's not discarding the output. Because 1 is output. Let's try 2.
D.
All right,
D.
we're gonna cat a file. I've got our output and it discarded the errors. So 2 was our thing we should be looking at, right? So what we should have eliminated first was A
and C.
and C.
Mm-hmm. T file was not the right
T
thing.
file wasn't in it because we know from when we were working with T file gave us errors and output.
So we knew D.
So just by process of elimination had to be D. So let's see if that's the right answer.
Yep.
Hold on. Come back screen. Yep. D is the right answer. So let's look at it again. Right? The question said output. Output doesn't mean errors and good information. Let's put it like that. It specifically says the output to a file and discard the error messages. All right, so A, we know you up out of here. T gives us errors and messages. I mean output. That's what it gave us. So automatically T gave it didn't push our output to a file. Let's double check it again. Let's run it. T file to all right, so T file is gonna T the file automatically. It's gonna when we run the T command, it automatically gives us output to the screen and it gives us the errors as well too. And it says we want to discard the error messages. So 2 is a discard to / dev null. Sounds fair, right? Sounds like it. But now let's cat file. So saves the output to a file and discards the error messages. But it didn't discard the error messages. The error messages came to the screen. Remember I told you the keyword discard? Remember that's your keyword. Discard meaning don't show me that at all. You following that keyword?
Yes.
That's gonna be the important piece right there. This when you see discard, you should automatically like, oh, they don't want to see no output to the screen. They don't want to see it to the screen, and they don't want it in a file. So slash dev null with the two right here is gonna be what's gonna be your thing here. So we automatically eliminated these two, but we know T file gave us everything to the screen, so that can't be it. And so it was the answer was D. Was that helpful? Did that help tonight?
Yes.
Did anybody feel lost? No, yay. Okay. All right. Let's give you this. All right. Same way over here. Right. Standard in, keyboard, standard out. It's gonna be a terminal, standard error, terminal, and then they got 3. I've never really seen anybody use 3. I always see 0, 1, 2. So look at this right here. Right. We got the 2, right? Standard error. And what is that going to do? Take the errors, my program, whatever my program is, and what, write the errors to a file? Above with executing the program, name my program. The file descriptor 2 is standard error. We redirect the error output to a file named error file. Thus the output is not cluttered. But if we want to get just the output, we can do slash dev null to this. Can you see that? You said move to the right. It's my left. Is that better for this one right here? All right, let's look at this one. What do you think it's doing? We're doing find command. We're searching in the current directory. The dot is the current directory. We're gonna search for everything that starts with my star. Anything my star. And then we're gonna send the errors to error.log. Does that sound like what it should do?
Yes.
Right, you following that? Remember the dot is current directory. Let's show that, right? So let's clear and say I want a CD to the current directory. I do CD dot, and we can do PWD, and then do CD dot again, and then do PWD. I'm in the current directory. But if I do CD dot dot, I
Go
go
down
up
and go
one
here.
directory,
Right.
right? And then I can check that by showing you I'm in the directory up one. Right? So let me CD back over. Oh yeah, remember before we can CD, can I do CD dash? Would it take me back? Yep.
Yeah.
So CD dash would take me back to the directory that I was currently in before. Remember that? Just a little reinforcement here. All right, so find current directory, everything that starts with my star, or yeah, my star. Take the error, because we said up here before, 2 is standard error, and throw it in a file called error log. All right, so let's see. Using the find command, we're searching in the current directory for a file with the name starting with my. Find file in current directory starting with my. It's gonna find some errors. Found the directory with my dir directory. Software cannot be accessed. As permission is denied, redirecting error to file. And so whatever that error it found, it should go into um, error.log. Making sense so far? Okay. Now we're getting a little bit more complex.
It
All
makes
right.
it just confuses me, the numbers and the redirection signs together.
Yep. So that's why I keep going back to here. So when you see the number and the redirect, you got to remember that's standard out or standard error. And the redirect is telling you whether it's going to be into a file or to /dev null. That's what that is. We're going to get to the ampersand in a minute. But right now, let's focus on you see the ampersand is coming up. Right now, let's focus on the redirects. Got it?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think this one is going to do? Right? It says ls documents and ABC. So let's look at that on our terminal. Let's get a terminal. So in here, I have a ls I can do. I have two files in here, with two directories, backups and hello. I can do ls backups and hello. So basically all I'm doing is a ls on two directories at the same time. So we can do that, right? That's legal. All right. So we're doing a ls on two directories, and then we're taking that and throwing that into some output, right? You see that, right? All right. Let's do the same thing. Let's redirect that over to uh output.txt. And then now if I do a ls, so what I just did was whatever that output was, remember now, my output, output got redirected, and I just want to say positive output without errors, because that helps. I think that helps. Let me know if that confuses you. Output without errors got placed uh, uh into a file called output.txt, right? So if we do a cat now, output.txt, you see that I got what I had up here. So basically I redirected my output from the terminal into a file. Cool with that so far?
Yes.
All right. So now we know that a 2 is a standard error, and then we got an ampersand 1. So let's say the server administrator lists directories for and store both error and standard output into a file which can be processed later. So he's storing the error and the actual standard output. All right, so let's do our thing that we've been doing. So I'm gonna see if I can do an ls on etc. Okay, I can do that. Hold on, let me see if I can do it on root. Okay, I can do it on root. All right, so, but can I do it on /temp? Let me go to /temp. I'm trying to catch an error too. All right, so let's catch this error. So I can do a ls on star. Let me see if I'm catching any errors. I didn't catch any errors. Oh yeah, I did right here. Permission denied. Right? So we got some errors here. So for all intents and purposes, I caught that. I'm gonna redirect that to /temp output.txt. But you see my output, my positive output went into my file, right? and my error still showed up to my screen. So now we're gonna say 2 ampersand 1. And before I do that, let's do this. Boo, 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 boo. Before I do that, let's do this. Okay, so that's output.txt. Can everybody see both screens? Let's start over from the beginning. So now we're gonna send everything to output.txt. Okay, now we see we got that, right? So now let's do tail dash F on output.txt. So right now at the end of output.txt is this dot text file. I mean this text. Okay. So now let's see when we run this command again with the 2 greater than ampersand 1, is it gonna append to the file the error? Yep. So it grabbed the error that we had and appended it. Let's do it again. Did you see that? Let's clear. Let's remove output.txt. Let's go up here and do an ls on output text. Our error came to the screen. Let's go to output.txt and let's see if we can look for denied. Yeah, see, that's not in there. So the error is on the screen, right? All right. But now we want to capture the error and the output. So now when I run this command again, that we're gonna see it change, and the actual error is gonna go into the file, the output and the error, and it captured the error. Before with just this one, we got the output on the screen, but now the output doesn't come to the screen. It's sent to the actual it's sent to the actual file. That makes sense? Did that ampersand make sense now? All right, so let's go and see what they say. All right, move this down. It says, which writes the output from one file to the input of another file. Output from one file, basically these two, into a file. And the 2 ampersand 1 means that the standard error redirects to the target of standard out. We're redirecting the output to standard. We're redirecting error output to standard output, which in turn is being redirected to a file, and the file is threadless. Hence, both the output and the error is written to the file. Did that make sense? Basically, the output and the error is written to the file. Now, let's ask this question. What if let's play around with it. What if we did, and let me see if I can find my other one. That's not what I wanted to do. Come back. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, that sucks. Let's get out of that. Where did my other little one go? I was trying to find my other screen. I may have to open up another terminal. I don't know where it went. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. So was this a real life job scenario? Absolutely. A real life interview. And this would be a real live s- something you can use when you're searching stuff. All right, let's go with that. Let's go with a temp. Let's clear here. All right, so when I do this ls star here, I'm getting my output and my error. But what if I want to, and you're gonna tell me what I gotta write. What if I want to take my output? What if I want to get my output and send my error to slash dev null? How would I do that? So someone tell me what command that is. Think about it. So I got my output and I wanna save my output to a file, but I want to send my error to slash dev null. I want to discard. Let's use the terms.
Can you repeat that?
I wanna capture my output, but I want to send my error to slash dev null.
Are you capturing the output in a file?
I'm capturing the output in the file and then sending my error to slash dev null. And Tunde say you do this. And let's capture new output. Okay. And we can actually do grep for error. See if the word even show up. Nope. Okay. Now, what if I want my output to come to a screen and my error go to slash dev null? I want my output to a screen and my error to slash dev null. So this is gonna give me output to my screen, right? But I want to send my error to slash dev null. CC, you say do the same thing? That's a file. Okay. Output to the screen, error to slash dev null, right? What I'm doing? Am I doing this? Tell me. I'm following y'all lead. You're the teacher tonight. Did that look right? Output to the screen, error to slash dev null. Okay. What if I want my output? I want my output. No, I want my output to slash dev null and my error to a file. Output the slash dev null, error to a file.
Can you repeat that, please?
Output to slash dev null, error to a file. I want my output to go to slash dev null. Let's see if we can get output to slash dev null. Is this output to slash dev null? And then error comes to the screen, but can't we do this? Nope. What else we got to do? Let me see. Hold on. Let me cat error.log. Look, so you see that, right? Look at that. It sent my output to error.log. It sent sent my error to error.log and my output to the screen. You saw that? Clear. I want my output to go to dev null, and I want my error to a file. So Tunde say we'll do a ls star, and we'll go to, and then file, and then 1 to slash dev null. So Tunde saying we can redirect the error to a file, which is our 2, right? That's our error. And then 1 is output and send it to dev null. All right. Before we type that, let me remove file. And then I can just highlight this. And I should be able to paste it. Yep. So who is with Tunde on this? Who's going in with Tunde on this? All right, Tara's going in on a 1 with it. All right, let's go.
No.
All right, so when I open up file, I should be capturing my errors, right? Cat file. Got my errors, and my output went to slash dev null. You see that? I captured my output. I captured my errors to a file, and I sent my output to slash dev null. When does this come in handy? This comes in handy when you're trying to read a log file and you're trying to get all the errors out of the log file. You want to see what all the errors are. The positive input is great, but something is failing. I want to get the errors out of the log file. That's what it's would come into play.
Does order matter?
Yep, because here order and numbers matter, right? So let's test your theory here. So if I change this, and then I'm going to assume I'm going to do this. Let's try. So what you're saying is let's capture the output to dev null first, and then send the error to a file, right? Let's see.
Mhm.
All right, let's control C. Let's remove our file. All right, let's go and grab this. And then let's paste. So we're saying here, ls everything in this directory, send the send the output to slash dev null and send the error to a file. All right. Let's cat file. Oops. File. We got it. So you can send that. Now ask this question this way. Does the number matter? if we switch this 1 with the place of the 2?
Yes,
Yes,
because
That would,
one
it's
means
because
output to
the
screen.
output is different.
yeah, because 1 means what? 1 means what? Standard output,
Yeah,
and 2 means,
standard error.
that's right. So if we switch these numbers here, good old handy drawing tool, is we switch this number and this number, it matters. That number there and that there, that matters. Okay, I think you're getting it better now. Let's you know, for shits and giggles, um let's see if you can answer these questions. I'm just gonna highlight and paste and clear. Oh yeah, I gotta go back to pointer, and I need to clear erase our drawings. All right, what does this do? uh, you can't see that with that in a way, right? I'm gonna get this to full screen. Okay, all right, what does that do? Talk it out. I'm listening. What do you think it does? We're using the find command to look for what? We're using the find command to look to search and slide of etc to find a file named password. Then what? What is it? Where's the output going? Into a file named /temp output. And then what does the 2 represent again?
Sending errors to dev null. It's
All right,
disappearing the errors.
right. So what should we see? What should we have left inside of the file output? Just output, right? We shouldn't see any errors in there, right?
Right.
All right. So let's cat output. You just should see just our output. All right. Now tell me what this does. Just think about it and run the command. Run the command.
Are you
What do you think
saving
it does?
two files?
Is
Temp
it 2
and
files? We got the find command. It's gonna search and slide of etc for password again, so we know what that part is doing. And we see that something is being redirected to both temp and to temp and save both.
And the
So
screen, right?
when we hit
It's
Oh,
amper and the as amper and the what's called.
so guess what happened?
Let's do it.
It saved the output and the errors both to the file. So that's another way to do it. That was a new one, huh? You with me?
Okay, ETC name, password.
All right. What do you think this does? What's the first thing? We know what this is. We know we're getting the files out. We know we're reading this file from the ETC director.
It's gonna
What is
append,
that double
it's gonna
ampersand do?
append it to the
Is
other.
appended
It's gonna append it to
to save
So,
both. And
both.
what we discovered this does too.
the error and the output. Yeah.
That's right. So what I'm gonna do is let's do we got a file in here called this cat save both and do a word count. So I got 12 lines. So if we do this again, we should have 24 lines. So let's see. Right, let's go do a word count. We got our 24 lines because we already know the first one was saved the it saved the actual here. We know this saved the error and the output to the file. And then this one just appended the same error and output to a file. So this and this are the same.
Do it again, Tamika. I'm sorry. What is it? The pen?
See, this took the output and the error and saved it to a file. Appended just this line here appended, but this appends the output and the error to that file because we did an append right here. But these right here,
You have to do this.
they're the same. You following that? So if
I'm
I
gonna
want to
have to.
get the out, so if I want to get the output and the error, I could do this. If I want to get the output and the errors, I can do that. Now let's ask this question. Here, order matters, right? So let's try this. Let's grab this. Let's remove. No, let's leave that. Let's grab this. Grab this. And slash temp save dashboard. What do you think's gonna happen?
I'm gonna send it.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh, hold on. Oh, you put the
So we know the word count, the last word count was 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what that word count is now.
Okay. September error.
So it caught the error and the output and appended it to the file. And then if we take this command right here, what do you think it's gonna do? We did it before, so what do you think it's gonna do now? It's gonna append it to the file, right? But it's gonna append the error and the output.
Yeah.
And then when we do a word count, 48.
48 goes up. Okay.
Make sense? So this and this are the same. The ampersand and 2 and 1 are the same.
Okay.
Equals same, which equals error and output. All right. What does this do? We went overhead last week.
Oh,
Remember
yeah, to give you the last 10,
the
first
top 10,
10,
the
first
first 10,
lines. Yeah, okay, it's come back to me. Yep.
and then saves them to a file. What is the ls minus t? What is the t? So we find out what the t is. Do a man on ls?
I'm guessing tail, but I know that's not it.
Let's see.
Time?
I'm going with time. Let's see. Sort by modification time. Newest first. I'm looking right here.
Yeah.
By modification time. Remember what we went over last night?
Yeah.
When we did a stat on let's see, what's a file in here? Stat on file, right? Modification time, mod time. And what did we say modification M time was? There was a difference, remember? What is M
Yeah.
time?
When the contents have been changed or something. Content has been changed.
The content, make a modification, content.
Modification time, more content. That's what it is.
Right, modification time of the contents. All right, so that's what that dash T is going to give us. Let's see, I gotta cut and paste that. Oops, guess not. Clear. Let's go back and grab it. So we're gonna get the modification time of whatever's in my current directory that I'm in, which is what? What's my current directory? I'm in what?
Oh, you're in temp director.
Right. Give me the first 10 lines, and then what? What is the T command gonna do? It's gonna do 2 things. You should know this one. It's actually gonna do several things. What does the T command do?
You're gonna put all the output in everything to the screen.
And what else? And in a file. The
And
T
in the
command.
file.
Yep. So whatever errors we got, whatever the output is, T command is gonna give us that. So let's see. I'm in /temp. Let's look at cat 10. So I guess I'm on a different terminal. And then get my errors. Where my errors at? Because let's see. Maybe because I did you know what it is? The root why I didn't get any errors? Because I did the dash T. So it's only looking at stuff that's been modified. So let's also look at let's put an L in front so we can see who owns what. Okay, so it only grabs stuff modified by me. That's important because we should have got an error, but it didn't grab that. And maybe because those files haven't been modified, the contents haven't been modified. But everything owned by me, everything that I touch has been modified there. All right, so let's go back up here and let's see if we can just do this on ETC. And let's see if we get that error. Okay. And let's cat temp. And let's do one other thing. Oh, it didn't care. It's just because I'm root, but I'm not root right now. But it got the last files that were modified. I guess because I don't have to. Well, let's look at why I'm able to do that. I'm able to do that because I'm not opening up the file. I'm able to read these. User group other has a read on them, except for G shadow, that doesn't. And then this one, that's interesting. G shadow shouldn't work. But then I put the top 10 and then over in here. You follow that?
Sort of.
All right. All right. So here's a little rule of thumb here. Pull this up. Standard error can be redirected through a pipe, but the merging redirection. So these are the merging redirections. We tested that, right? Cannot be used. So I guess they're saying if we're using the pipe command, we can't use the pipe command with those. The following is the correct way to redirect both standard output and standard error through a pipe. In other words, through this thing here. Remember when we said this right here is equivalent to this right here? So they're saying we can't use this right here. So let's try. You following that? Let's just grab all of this. Come on, go away. So what they're saying is this. I can do that, right? Unix files usually don't contain slashes path names. That means slash will probably evaluate something. Why you don't like it? Let's go here. Make it simple on myself because we know this works. All right, warning. Unix file names usually don't contain slashes, though path names do. That means that slash, let's see, hold on. Oh,
You got
they got it wrong. Was it flash? Yeah, slash etc dash name password. Yep, that's what they were supposed to do. And then this, they have it wrong. Okay, that works. But what they're saying is we can't do this right here. We can't do ampersand and then over to less. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, doesn't like it. So remember, when you're in using the pipe command, you have to refer back to using the error, standard error, and standard output this way. The pipe command doesn't like you using the ampersand and redirect together. Does that make sense? So you see, it gave me an error when I tried to use the ampersand and that, but if I go back up and I use that and I pipe that over to less, I can use that. But I can't use the ampersand and greater than sign together if I'm using the pipe. I want to pipe it over to something else. Make sense? Let me know who's confused. Okay. All right. Let's see. We went through the quiz. We hammered redirects. I think you ready. We don't need to go through Vim. I think you got that. But we can go through some Vim. If you don't know, there's a Vim tutor, and this Vim tutor take you through on how to move around with the cursor and so forth. Anytime you want to get out, just hit Q. Let me hit escape and then :Q. And I'm out.
Hey, Tamika,
Mm-hmm.
sorry to interrupt. I just had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
On the exam, do we or anybody know any idea of how many questions? I heard it was only like 15 or 20 questions, but
Which one? The RHCSA or the one or just the 124 class?
the RHCSA.
Yep. The RHCSA is gonna be hands-on. From when I remember taking it, sitting at the screen. There will be there will be um there will be a person there who would pretty much set up the exam, and you have to go through the questions like, hey, create a user, mount an NFS file system, make sure you use LVM, create a partition, use some LVM. You say that's it, but that cut is 2 hours for the exam. So it may be 15 questions with 5 parts.
So do you know like how many questions? Is there any way we can know like, okay, how many questions are going to be like around this subject, like redirection?
Nah, it won't be no questions around that kind of subject. It'll be questions, it'll be things you'll be like, oh, I could just use, oh, how do I find the errors for X, Y, and Z? How can I just filter out all my errors? That's where that comes in to help you at.
Okay.
It's not questions like, oh, well, how do I remember how to do this? It's not that. You wanna be able to just filter out the fluff. So how do you filter, right? If I created a file and I don't know where I created the file at, how will I find it? Yeah, it's no multiple choice.
Oh Lord.
There
Okay.
ain't no multiple. This is all hands on. That's why I've been showing y'all the screen this way, because when you get in on the exam, I mean, you can use the GUI, but most people tell you the GUI takes you the longest amount of time. Some things are very good. Some things are good in the GUI, some things are not. But if you could do everything on the command line, you crack
It's
you could
better
do
to know
one
the command
else.
line. Yeah.
Huh?
I said it's better to know the command line is what I've
Yeah.
heard. You can use GUI and man pages, but it takes a while. It'll take you longer.
It'll take
And I
you
don't.
long. So if I train you this way, when you get in there to look at a GUI, you're gonna be like, "Where the terminal at? I don't know this GUI stuff." Just the truth. Yep. So, are y'all ready for environment variables?
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
No. Let me study.
Yeah, let's move
I'm only
on.
I'm only one person though.
Yeah, we moving on to environment variables. All right. So let's give some, I guess some set some rules here when it comes to environment variables. Okay. So in Linux, there's environment variables can be set in several places, but the two main places that most people use to set environment variables are in uh their local environment and then the system environment. So let me clear my screen and I'm gonna go to my home directory. I'm just gonna type cd tilde that gets me to my home. How do I know I'm home? I type pwd. So I'm in my home directory. Now, um, I want to set environment variables just at the command line for right now. The keyword is right now. So if I want to say, hey, let's set hello equal to good, and then oops, let me do that. Take get of my spaces, enter. And if I type hello, I should say echo $ hello is equal to good. But the minute I reboot this system or I close out of this terminal, that goes away. Right? So it's only good for as long as I have that terminal open. Like, uh, and then, this is my host name, and I can change my host name to test startup. Okay, fine. Just to do that, can you do that? Thank you. Now, if I type host name, it's test startup. But when I log out of this, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be there because it's going to read a file. And that file is over etc host name cat etc host name. My bad. It's called Linux startup. It's going to read that file. So with that being said, there are variables you can temporarily set just to get something to work. But if you want something to work across the entire system with other users, we will have to go in and set variables up inside of vim etc profile. And this is for the system, meaning if I log into this system, if I got an account on here, if both of the Stephanies have an account on here, if Mario has an account on here, and whoever else has an account on here, whatever wherever I set Java to be or Python to be, it's gonna be for the entire system. Right? However, I may not want to do that. So let's look at our hidden files. We do a ls -a. There's a little file here called .bashrc. And in this file, we can set variables. So I can come here, you can see uncomment the following line if you don't like the system control auto paging. So here I export some type of variable for system D pager, but I can export another variable if I want to. And it'll be set just for me when I log in. So that's me setting up my environment when I log in. And truth be told, I could probably do the same thing with every user. There's this little file or folder. If you go to cd over to skel, this is the directory that everyone gets. When I create a user, everybody gets what's in this directory. All right. So let's test this theory. Let's do a tail dash in 5 5 on etc password. All right, so and to Mario Tam 4, they were in slash opt. Mario was in slash home. So if I did an ls on slash home, I see these Tam, Tamika, whatever. So let's go to Mario. Home Mario. And let's do an ls minus a. As you can see on the and I do a ls minus a on etc scale, you see he's got the same thing as what's in that directory. But hey, I want everyone to have this directory every time they log in, right? So if I went over to etc scale, clear, and I make a directory called get your weight up, right? Boom. All right, so now let's make a user. User add new phony user. All right, so now we cd over to slash home because it's going to take the default. And I'll show you why to take the default. And we go to new phony user and we do an ls minus a. You see, they got that get your weight up directory. But guess who don't have it? All the other users, they don't have it. See, they don't have it. So only new users going forward will get your weight up directory when they get logged in. So I set that for the new users that get logged in, they'll get that directory in their home directory, in their home folder. Cool. All right, so .bash rc for local, you can probably use .bash profile if you wanted to as well, and then /etc profile for the system. Okay, so now let's just play around with some environment variables. Let's say count equal to 20, echo $. Count. I want to see what all environment variables I have. env. I can do env grep. Oops, not that one. Grep. And I want to ignore case. Grep count. You don't see anything from that. You see, I don't even have count. All right, so that's why why count didn't show up. Let's see. Echo $. Count. Let's see if we did count. Will it show up? Of course not. All right. Let's find out what happened to count. Where'd the count go? So let's see what the env variable reads, man. Env. Run a program in a modifier. Set each name. No. Split string unset set. Let's see. Let's do something here. Let's see if we can. If we use the set command, would it come up? So when we use the set command, count comes up, but when we use the env command, count doesn't come up. Did you see that? When we do env, I pipe that over to less, and we scroll up. See, we don't even get count. But if we do set and we grep -I count, we get count. If I do env grep -I count, I don't get anything. So it seems to me set is reading locally, current, and env is seem like it may be reading from a file. Well, let's test that theory. It's unset count. And we'll run set. Why is count coming out to that? I just unset count. I don't need a $sign, but I'll do it. But I don't think I need one. Guess I need a $sign count. Okay, so I unset it. All right, so now let's go to etc profile. Now we can come here and do count equal 20. Little trick you gotta do, you gotta source etc profile so it can read the latest and greatest from that file. Now let's do env. Let's see, do we have count in here somewhere? Let's grab. Nope. But if we do set, let's see if count comes up. Count comes up with set. So we need to figure out where env is reading from. I wonder if it's reading only from bash RC. Maybe not. But count does come up. Right there. All right. So everybody always like, how do you print stuff to a screen? Echo, hello. Hello.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's how you print. All right. So what do you think this does?
Turns it off.
What do you think this does? So the first part, we know what it's going to do, right? it interpreted what the actual value of count was. So this right here, what do you think? Let's see. I can do it that way too. So the echo is just echoing out. It's just printing what I'm telling it to. Better syntax that way. But let's use our up arrow and say we put this inside of here. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna get printed to the screen? Interpreted the count. What do you think this is gonna do? There you go. You see the difference?
No better.
Right. So and then this here, what do you think that's gonna do?
Yeah, 20.
There you go. So what we just showed you was how to create a variable, how to create a variable for the system, how to create a variable local to your environment, like a current variable, how to print, how to interpret a environment variable. So if I did a set, and then we scroll up, and I want to get OPWD clear. Oh, come on. And I do this. And then I do this. And I can do this. I'm just getting a string value of what that is. Oops. What is this going to give me? It's going to give me the time and date. No trick question. You seen that before? That was a gimme. We're going to have to go over some stuff here. This is what about to get confusing. I want us to spend time on this. I want us to spend time on this. Can you interpret what this saying?
User.
So user is fine, is right at the at sign,
Password.
the host, and the working directory. So this value right here, this PS1, gives you this here. That's what that is. is the user. I'm root. My host that I'm on, and my working directory that I'm in. So I can exit here, and then I'm going to echo $ PS1, and then it's gonna give me. Let's see who am I? Oh, Tamika. What's my host name? Remember, my host name is Test Startup. So get it's not reading. It's not reading from what I set. It's reading from it's reading from that file, and then my working directory, which is home. So if I did CD/home Tamika, that's what home would look like, or CD tilde, that's what home is. So if you ever wonder how you get uh this, or I should say, if you get this, the variable is this, and you can change that variable to read other things. You can say, give me the user, the host name. I think you can put colors and stuff like that. So you can make that funky. So let's look up PS1. PS1 environment variable, which contains the value of the default prompt. It changes the shell command prompt appearance. You have a PS2 environment variable, which contains the value prompt used for the command continuation interpretation. You see it when you write a long command in many lines. PS3 and then PS4. Change the bash prompt. So look at what their bash prompt looks like right here. /E. Let me see. I don't know what that is. But we know user and the host, and we know the working directory. I don't know what the dash. I don't know what the /A is. They break it down here. Here we go. Here go the options. So we got a /E, ASCII escape. All right, and then they have a /A, ASCII bell character. I wouldn't want the ASCII bell character. So that's what that looks like on here. I don't want that. And then they had the different ways that you do it. You can do your time. There it is. You can have the time format on there. So let's look at it. You can say PS1 equals to, can I do this like that? Let's see. Do I have to put it in double quotes? Yep. I have to put it in double quotes. Okay. Export. Oh, and I didn't put my brackets around it. So you see that? I changed it. And if I want to change it back, I can just go back up here and grab that. You see where they had the brackets at right here? They kept the brackets right here and then put the $ on the outside. So we can do that. And we can do /$. So when I sudo, because I'm root, right now. Root doesn't have that. Let me go back. So I got my time, I got my current directory and my time and everything. Make sense? Did Miss Stephanie leave us for the night? Well, the last stuff was just okay. Yeah, the last stuff was just changing your prompt. That's all we did. We changed our prompt to the user, our host name, our working directory, and we added our time, and we put everything that we want in brackets here, and then we gave the $sign. So let's change this to star. So that's funky, but that's what our prompt looks like. Let's change it back to $sign. And so now that's what our prompt looks like. See? So tell me, how can I echo the date to a file? I want to echo the date to a file. I want to send the date information to a file. How would I do that? Can I just do date? Now, how do I get that to a file? Don't I just redirect? If I want to echo $sign date, date's not a nothing in date, right? So it's gonna be empty, but I can put something in date and send it to a file, and then put that in something else, right? You with me so far? No. What are you missing? Let me stop recording.